We have never really eradicated a pathogenic disease, at least not those from parasites. That small list only bullets smallpox and rinderpest, which are caused by viruses and are not considered parasites per se. These two have shown a massive decline in prevalence even in third world nations. Parasites are vastly different. They are higher in complexity and are more closely knit to the environment because of their life cycle pathways. Pathogenic parasites are dependent on hosts to survive, thrive, and continue their course in evolution. This is why eradication of parasitic diseases are difficult. It means we as a society have to ecologically disrupt a system of survival in their environment. One parasite, however, is on the trend of being eradicated: the Guinea worm. Dracunculiasis medinensis, commonly known as the Guinea worm, is a parasitic worm that infects humans and has been a scourge of human populations for thousands of years. This worm causes dracunculiasis, an infection wherein the worm grows inside the body and causes debilitating pain. It is prevalent in underdeveloped nations due to their limited access to potable water and poor water sanitation, aspects that are essential for its life cycle. Despite such, we see a huge decline of cases in recent years, potentially ending any trace of the epidemic. In this video, we will discuss what is dracunculiasis, its causative agent, and how does it hold up to modern medicine and mitigation.
Families get sick from unsafe water.
You shouldn't drink that stuff anyway.
A remedy must be found, and a remedy was found. Cleanliness. But how could they be clean without water?
I believe she has Guinea one.
When we were at the pond the other day, he had one too. It was kind of bad.
What do you think? Is it safe to drink?
All right, let's smush some worms.
Yes, water. Good, clean water.
Dracunculiasis is characterized by the presence of the Guinea worm in the body. This happens when the definitive host ingests water containing water fleas, the intermediate host, infected with the larvae as you can see in this picture. Once inside the host, such as humans, raccoons, minks, dogs, cats, and other animals, the larvae are released from the copepod and penetrate the intestinal wall, where it then migrates to the subcutaneous tissue, the layer under the skin, where they mature into adult worms. Female worms can grow up to 1 meter in length and can reside in the host for up to a year, possibly without being noticed. Upon reproductive maturity and after mating, females burrow out of the skin in an excruciating manner. The pain can be partly relieved when the host submerges the exit point in water, in which case the worm releases their eggs in hopes of being ingested by water fleas and restarting the cycle. The life cycle of the Guinea worm is maintained in communities where access to clean water is limited and hygiene practices are poor. The symptoms of a Guinea worm infection includes severe pain, itching, and blisters where the worm emerges from the skin. The condition can cause disability and can be extremely debilitating, as the worm must be slowly and carefully removed in centimeters at a time, often over the course of several weeks for multiple worms. In some cases, the open wound infection can lead to secondary bacterial infection and cause permanent scarring. The mainstay of treatment is the extraction of the adult worm from the patient using a stick at the skin surface and wrapping or winding the worm a few centimeters per day. Because the worm can be as long as 1 meter in length, full extraction can take several days to weeks. This slow process is required to avoid breakage and leaving behind a portion of the worm inside the body. The large size of the adult Guinea worm and their quantity is the same reason antibiotics are not recommended. Each day, the affected body part is partially immersed in a container of water to encourage more of the worms to come out. The wound is cleaned and gentle traction is applied to the worm to slowly pull it out. This method is also cost-effective, fitting for mass application. The impact of the disease on affected populations is, of course, very significant. The pain and disability associated with the infection can make it difficult for people to work and carry out their daily activities, such as going to school or earning the weekly wages. Guinea worm disease was once a widespread problem, affecting millions of people in Africa and Asia. However, due to the concerted efforts by the international community, the incidence of the disease has declined dramatically. In 1986, there was an estimated 3.5 million cases of the disease, but by 2020, the number had declined to just 28 cases. This denotes extremely successful strategies or approaches in disease mitigation. The success in controlling the spread of the guinea worm is largely due to a multifaceted approach that includes education and awareness campaigns, providing clean water and distributing water filters to communities in affected areas. In addition, widespread health education about the transmission of the worm has led to a decrease in the number of cases as well. But despite the significant progress made in controlling the spread of the disease, there are still challenges that must be addressed. In some areas, the availability of clean water remains a problem, and there is still a need for education and awareness about the importance of safe water practices. In addition, the absence of effective surveillance and reporting systems can make it difficult to monitor the incidence of the disease and ensure that cases are properly treated. As long as the number of cases of Dracunculiasis never reaches zero, we can never say for sure that the disease has been fully eradicated, as ecology has a funny way of bouncing back, a truth we now hold dear because of the COVID-19 pandemic. Still, we congratulate the efforts of scientists, of health practitioners, of public officials, and community leaders in thwarting the epidemic so far from a case number of 3.5 million in 1985 to about 15 or so as of 2020 data. This is a huge deal in parasitological research, and its mitigation mechanism could prove useful in future outbreaks. So that is it for the video, and thank you all for watching.